My friends, I don't think I'm exaggerating if I say that most people, most of us, we live with this existential knot in our stomach, in our solar plexus, and an existential fear knot, we can call it. And it's just always there. For some, it's more intense than it is for others. But because we live in this third dimension of duality where what we are experiencing is the matrix, the programming of the matrix, which is a programming that we experience in the mind. And I shared with you before a video about how fear is basically the fuel of the matrix, and we are being fed with this fear fuel 24/7. And because we're being so bombarded with it, and that we accept it and we basically take it in consciously or unconsciously, it's both sides. A lot of time we don't even know we do it. And because more and more people are becoming more conscious, there is certainly an aspect to it where we are aware that we're doing it, but we don't really know what to do about it because it's kind of all lodged here in our solar plexus as this existential fear that it's just all about survival and making it and being loved, being accepted, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being left out, not being good enough, not being loved, not making it, whatever that making is that we need to get to. This is what we all live with all the time. And that's why so many of us have been doing a lot of deep work on ourselves for a very long time because it started to become more obvious, more available to see what was actually going on. Whereas I would say most of the world is still living under that blanket of fear, not having not having the awareness to question it. So, in that sense, I would say we're very blessed that we can question it and that we can do something about it by first becoming aware of it. And then, there's all these ways we can work with it, many avenues. So, we find the one that works best for us right now. There's no right and wrong. There is simply what something in us feels pulled to do. Meditation, be exercise, changing your diet, some very basic ones. Can be doing some really deep inner work with somebody, do some trauma work, core belief work, core trauma work, um, breathing, medicine work. There really are many, many ways, and nobody's here to tell anybody what is the right way. It's something we can tune into inside of us because there's a resonance. There's like this, this I want to do. There's an opening, an energetic expansion. It's almost like that gives us the guidance that it opens an energetic door for us to move through because we're following this inner. And then when we start doing that work, we're probably going to get a lot of insights, a lot of openings, maybe some deep healings. And for most of us, there's more. That's why it's so common that so many people are trying all these different modalities that are available. But what it all comes down to is really our deepest intention to be free. I talked a little bit about intention recently and how important it is that we really feel that intention in our heart. It's really like a heartfelt yes that comes with love for ourselves. Like, yes, I want to be free, or yes, I want to clear this. Whatever that yes is, it's very beautiful and it feels good. And in that is that intention. It's kind of like you send out an arrow into the field. It's like, boom, yes, it's like the field receives the yes. And of course, we are the field. But I think for many of us, it's helpful to have some kind of a middleman or a middle woman or a middle something that we can we can project that intention onto, and not necessarily a person. It could be a person, but only for a while until we can fully own that we are that intention. We are the mirror that we're still projecting something out there. So, and that's fine. It has to be something that will help us open up. And that's why there's no right or wrong in this. So I want to just come back to this existential fear not. There's so many layers, and it doesn't all go away in one session. Have you noticed? And we just need to keep moving on. And as we do, we build a new foundation that is strong. And this foundation is, of course, who we are. So, in a way, you can say we're taking more and more of our projections, of the energetic projections that we have put out there. We take more and more of that energy back in here. And in that, the sovereignty that we already are, the divine node, the divine frequency that we already are, starts getting stronger. It's almost like it starts radiating or expressing itself stronger and stronger as we keep pulling back our projections. And with that, we will be more able to be present with this existential fear in our solar plexus. If this doesn't relate to you with this knot in the stomach, I'm so happy for you. I really am. I don't know too many who don't have that. And again, I say consciously or unconsciously, but there is a drive for survival and making it. And most of our choices and actions come from this place of contraction and lack and separation. That energy that we then send out is basically more of the same, right? Because it's not coming from our sovereignty. It's still coming from a lack, like I have to survive and I have to do this. So it's a fear energy from the matrix that we are still feeding. And in feeding it, the ripples go out into the seeming outer expression. And then it feels like it's never going to change. It's really, really important that we do all the work that we have done. I do see it's getting easier for people because I think collectively more and more of us are really owning the foundation of our sovereignty. And of course, because of that, that energy, that frequency goes out more into the world, and then everybody benefits from it. The sovereignty gets stronger, and the matrix frequency gets weaker and weaker, and that is what we see happening It is collapsing, although it looks really messy, but that's when things collapse and end. That's often what it looks like. There are definitely things we can do to keep ourselves not identified with this existential nut, with this fear fuel from the matrix when it comes to us. But we can only do that when, like I say, when we have pulled ourselves enough out of it so that we have the capacity to see it and to take a stand. To see it and to take a stand. To see it and say, no, no more. That's how you take a stand. And it's very, very powerful. So when that comes, that this onslaught of fear in whatever way it does it, you can really just, you can also say something like, yeah, I see you. Because you see, when you say I see you, there is already space. And we need that space for a while to not get pulled in by it. So we can say, yeah, I see you. You're not me. And then you let it be. Then you let it be to the best of your ability, okay? No perfection required. It's a practice. But when we can come down to that place in ourselves, when we feel we have enough presence, enough sovereignty, enough, energy, knowing who we are, right? It's like, no, I know who I am. I'm not that. But if we don't know that, at least to a certain extent where we can feel it, there's like a right? Then we don't have the capacity to do that because we're still pulled in by it. So it's very important that we keep doing the work, whatever work you do. And like I always say, you're welcome to reach out if you want to do some one-on-one work with me to really build that capacity. So you are able to stand your ground and not keep collapsing back into that fear knot or the existential projections of fear from the matrix where you can hold your ground. And then you can say, I see you. It's like you're not trying to ignore it because it's there, because you can feel it, right? But you can say, yeah, I see you. I know you're here. I feel you. And I know that that is not who I am. I know you are a hypnotic suggestion, a programming from the matrix, and I am not the programming. I know that I am something much bigger and more powerful than the programming. And in that, you can say to yourself, and therefore I let it be. I don't touch it. I don't engage with you anymore. I did a video a while ago. That was actually when my little kitty was dying, where I think it was about I'm breaking up with fear. And I want to keep bringing that up, that subject here, because we are still very identified with fear. I mean, just look in the world. We are being bombarded with it because the matrix is collapsing. And it's got like, I gotta hold on. I need to send out more fear, more lies, more this, more that. Know that. That is what is happening. do your best to stand your ground and say, I see you. And this is not who I am, because I know who I am. And therefore, I can let this be. I can leave it be. I don't need to engage in it. I don't need to try and heal it or make it go away. That is something we may have done earlier in our deeper work, where we just had to soften it and listen to it. And it's very, very important during that stage. And when we come to this place, I just let it be. You don't need to turn away. You just let it be because you know it's not you. So why would you even engage with it? And in that, you're not feeding it, right? You're not feeding what the matrix needs from you, your fear. You're not feeding it. You're just letting it be. You're not trying to get rid of it, not fighting it. That's all feeding it, feeding it. It's like, okay, I see you. I know that's not who I am. That's not me, because I know who I am. I know what I am. And therefore, I can just let it be. Would you like to try that on? It's powerful, and it might be your next step in your unfolding. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you aren't already. And I would, of course, always love to hear how all of this lands for you. And yeah, I'm just curious if you resonate with this. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you again soon.